It's another edition of Monday Night Sports Talk on the AirNetwork.net. It is Greg Banks in the studio, being joined tonight with Dave Shannon from Altoona, along with Chad States Huntington, and Jimmy Ty back from Wrigley Field and Soldier Field in Chicago after a brief vacation. Jimmy, I guess we'll get into some of the food, but did you have any of that deep dish pizza from Chicago, by the way?
Oh, my God, yes, I did, yes. The greatest pizza I ever ate.
Well,
oh, my God.
Whoa.
It's better than freaking Domino's.
Oh, come on now. It can't be that good. Yeah, anyhow. I'm glad you enjoyed your time out there. By the way, you need to put some pictures up on Facebook so we can see exactly how a deep dish pizza looks in Chicago.
I do have pictures of it. My cousin's like, you got to take a picture of this, so...
Okay.
I do have pictures, and I will promise you I will put them up just for you, Greg.
All right. Jimmy Ty, of course, back with us from the Philadelphia area. Hey, Chad States, real quick, and then I'll get to Dave. Hey, Chad, wrestling season back at Penn State. Already some sellouts there, man, huh?
Yeah, and they're looking to entertain Lehigh here in the next couple of weeks at the Bryce Jordan Center, but they are on a roll once again. So
we'll talk about
look out,
them.
Wrestling Nation.
All right, that's all coming up here on Monday Night Sports Talk. And Dave Shannon, I saw where you caught another butte, I believe, up in Erie, or was that a past picture that we saw here recently on Facebook?
No, actually, that was last Wednesday.
Wednesday?
The Erie area.
Oh,
Yep.
Good for you. I guess it's kind of windy and cold up there now. The snow's probably blowing.
Not as bad as it could have been. They were calling for ridiculous amounts of snow, and the best I could see is maybe 3-4 inches.
Man.
On a number of cameras, that are around, either highway cams or whatever. So not so bad. I'm headed back up here after Thanksgiving.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Monday Night Sports Talk. Hey, meanwhile, the Steelers finally snapping that 4-game losing streak yesterday, defeating the Browns 24-9. And as we always mention, guys, here on Monday Night Sports Talk, when the Steelers play the Browns or Cincinnati or even the Ravens, it's sort of like those teams' Super Bowls. Chad, let me ask you right off the bat, because the scoring was not really hot and heavy for the Steelers. There was a, 1-yard run, Le'Veon Bell with a touchdown, 3 field goals from Chris Boswell, and a fumble return with Javon Hargrave. What's your impressions of that game? It was Cleveland. Of all teams, they just didn't seem to play with a lot of spirit, the Steelers, yesterday.
No, the Steelers are still missing something, Greg, and I don't know what it is, but there's no, there's no intensity out of that team.
Mm-hmm.
There's no push out of that team, and it's a division that's right there for the taking.
Oh, right now,
they're 5-5. Baltimore's 5-5. Bengals just lost to the Bills. I mean, honestly, it's shaping up to be one of the worst divisions in football this year. So I don't know. There's something to miss out there in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure what. Still plenty of time to try to correct something, but
right.
It just doesn't seem like a team that's going anywhere.
Dave, one of the highlights of yesterday's game was the 8 sacks by the defense. James Harrison, by the way, now the all-time sack leader. If nothing came out of that game yesterday, at least the defense showed up to play. What do you think?
No, they had a good game. Of course, defensive performances are sometimes a byproduct of how good the offensive line is. And I'm suspecting that there may be some issues, although some of those guys on Cleveland's offensive line, pretty huge dudes. But nonetheless, I think that had a little bit to do with what went on yesterday. And the Steelers, and also you had a quarterback who hadn't started in McCown for a while. And he ended up having to come in the game. So he's standing back there in the pocket, taking up a lot of time. And I think with any NFL defense, you give them enough time, they're going to find a way to the quarterback.
Well, Jimmy, having said that, and my phone's going crazy here for some reason, but Jimmy, having said that, yesterday the offensive line obviously had to do quite a job in order to get Le'Veon those, I believe it was 201 yards yesterday. Of course, as Chad said, I think we're missing something. I'm not sure if it's the offensive line or what it is. What's happening with the Steelers, man?
Who knows what's happening with them? But Le'Veon had 146 yards.
Okay, I saw him listed as 201 yards yesterday, but he only had
201 all-purpose.
201 all-purpose. Okay,
yeah.
But that one yard run.
The thing is about Pittsburgh, like Chad said it perfectly. This division looks like it's one of the worst right now in the NFL.
Right.
The Bengals just lost their best player in A.J. Green.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We are tied with the Ravens, even though the Ravens right now hold the tiebreaker.
Right.
Yeah, the worst football team in in the NFL right now in our division.
Yeah.
Which we get to play
Browns,
again.
So,
yeah, exactly.
And Deja and we play them again. So it's division's up for the taking to who's going to be the king of this division. And if the Steelers put the performance on, the defense put the performance on like they did yesterday, even though it's the Cleveland Browns, and we play Indianapolis next week.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's going to, they're going to be doing good because, if you look at it, we still have Baltimore coming up.
Right.
We still have Cleveland, and I believe we still have, Cincinnati?
Right. We got all those guys coming up now.
We have all those guys, so yeah, Pittsburgh can still win the division.
Now,
but the defense has to come up like they did
yesterday.
Just like what they did against the Browns.
Yeah. Now here's the deal, though. It's a short week here, guys, as we go into this week, and I don't think they practice today, so we got to practice tomorrow and Wednesday at best. And then Thanksgiving night, they take on Indianapolis. Chad, let me ask you this real quick. Sack leader. When you think of like some of the greats who have played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the past, James Harrison just continues to be a beast, man. He is now the all-time sack leader. So if we don't have anything probably to hang our hats on, at least that defense, the guys, still hanging in there. Do you think he's got a couple more years yet, or you think this is the final year for Harrison?
Well, it's been the final year for Harrison for the last 3, hasn't it?
Yeah,
and
it has
just
been.
Continues to come back and play at a very high level. I mean, now granted, I really think that I could have got a sack on McCown on Sunday. Cleveland's offensive line, as Dave said, they're horrible. I mean, that's not really a pro football team that's sitting out there. And I know it's been said, hey, college teams can't be pro football teams.
Yeah.
I think Alabama hammers the hell out of Cleveland.
And I've heard that, yeah.
I think they beat the crap out of them.
I've heard
that.
But
with that said, James Harrison, it's shaping up to be one of those questions where, is he a Hall of Fame guy or is he not? He won a defensive NFL MVP. He's the all-time leader to one of the greatest, teams in NFL, the all-time sack leader to one of the greatest teams in NFL history as far as the Steelers are regarded. He's had a really, really good NFL career.
Yeah, we're losing Chad there.
A guy who was on a practice team and got cut once.
That's right.
So he's busted butt. And that's the thing you got to appreciate. Here's a guy who put in hard work and busted his butt to get to where he got to.
Oh, there's no doubt. No doubt. James Harrison certainly will go down in the record books for the Steelers, if not the Hall of Fame. Dave, let me ask you, one of the critical parts of yesterday's game, the offense here, again, who are the lead receivers on this team? Because I don't know, Big Ben's having real difficulty getting to, of course, Antonio Brown and maybe Sammy Coates and some of the other guys. Is it Ben's problem, the line's problem, or is the defense now looking at enough film that they can shut these guys down?
They have crappy receivers. Chad was looking at what is it that the Steelers are missing, and it's their wide receiving core.
Really?
That's what that team is missing. Oh, they know. I'm telling you, I have never seen more drop passes.
Oh, yeah.
And I am, and you and I have talked about this off air, Greg.
Right.
And I don't know what goes on in NFL locker rooms or what goes on in the heads of NFL players, but I'm telling you this much. I am sick of watching Antonio Brown run for the frickin' sidelines every time he catches a pass.
Yeah.
He's in that, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, I'm going out of bounds, don't hit me.
Right.
And I am sick and tired of watching him do that. He used to be a guy where if he saw an opening in the field, he'd cut it right back into the middle of the field and come what may. Now, that being said, I don't know if that hit by Vontaze Burfict has completely changed his attitude about the way he approaches the game, but he is not the guy that he used to be.
Right.
And it's just and that the other receivers, I have seen Ben hit Coates.
Well, I just lost Dave and those guys there, Chad, with you coming back in. Chad, we were talking about Antonio Brown going across the middle of the field. Is he afraid to go across the middle, or what's happening with that these days?
Yeah, he just seems a little tentative, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's got those alligator arms where he wants to pull everything in.
Yeah.
Something. That's for sure.
Well, meanwhile, yesterday, Terrell Pryor, Jimmy, went across the field, and he got hit. He only had to do that one time to know that he did not want to cross the middle of the field. What do you think? Okay. Dave is still there? Hey, Jimmy, are you with us?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, get on there because I was just asking you.
Suddenly, I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Well, I got to add
Here
Dave.
you go, Dave.
Okay, we'll get Dave back onto this call. We are, by the way, having some network problems, obviously, tonight here on Monday Night Sports Talk. And if we can get Dave, you back on? And I think Chad is now still with us.
I'm still here.
All right. Listen, let me ask you this. Tomlin yesterday upset because of the officials. He made it known today that he's very critical of the refs. He says they should be full-time. What is your thought on, of course, full-time referees in the NFL?
Well, I think they should be full-time.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%. There's no reason for them not to be full-time referees.
Right.
It's learning the league and learning the rules. That's a full-time job. They should be doing it.
Okay. We're going to try to get Jimmy and Dave back on this call here, of course, on Monday Night Sports Talk. Now, why in other leagues, obviously, the referees are indeed full-time. What do you think the NFL is afraid of? I mean, what is it? I know these guys have to look at film. There are a lot of things they could be doing. And what is that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question, Greg. It's just something that they've never did, and I never understood why.
Right.
Again, Major League Baseball, they're full-time employees. NBA, they're full-time employees. I believe the NHL are full-time employees. I don't know what it is with the NFL that they allow their people to go out and do other things, but it shows on Sundays at times, and Tomlin's right. They need to be full-time.
Exactly. I think they need to be also. He obviously had a problem with that yesterday. I guess there were some glaring mistakes made by the referees yesterday, and hence the reason for Tomlin to be a little bit upset. We are trying to get Dave and also Jimmy back on the line with us, and what we'll do is let's take a minute here and regroup. We'll run this spot. And as soon as we can get these guys reestablished, we'll be back with more of Monday Night Sports Talk here on the airnetwork.net. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The Huntington Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community. Becoming a member of the Huntington Moose enables you to join friends who have served the community for over 100 years. It's the annual canned food drive on Saturday, December 17th, with all canned goods going to the local food bank. Bring a can of food or non-perishable item to the Clifton 5 theaters for free admission to a movie on Saturday, December 17th at 10 a.m. The Huntington Moose Family Center 223, serving the community with the best value in town. Follow us on Facebook.
Pennsylvania Highlands Community College provides you the option to earn an associate degree, diploma, or certificate at an affordable cost. The Penn Highlands Huntington Center, located on Margie Drive in Huntington, offers degree programs in business management, criminal justice, liberal arts and sciences, and psychology. Are you ready to take the next step on your career path? Contact Penn Highlands Huntington at 814-643-6200 or visit Penn Highlands Community College online at pennhighlands.edu.
All right, it's another edition of Monday Night Sports Talk. We had to jump out of that call for a minute so we could hopefully reestablish Jimmy Tive, Dave Shannon, and Chad States. We'll see who's still on the line with us now. Who's with us?
I'm
Hey,
here.
Greg, it's Jimmy.
Okay, we got Jimmy and Dave and probably lost Chad. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. All right. I hate this network when that happens. We were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me move on real quick here. Steelers and the Colts prediction. They are playing Thursday night. I believe that's 8 o'clock. That'll be on NBC. Dave, first you, and then Jimmy, because this is going to be a very crucial game. They are now 5-5, and for obvious reasons, they got to win out most of these games, if not all of them now, Dave.
Well, if they want to, sure. I mean, and they're not going to probably be in a position to be in wild card contention at the end of the season. So they have to look at winning the division if they want to have a postseason.
Right.
So you're right, Greg. They pretty much have to win out in order to make it to the postseason. I think this is going to be a great game after so many horrible Thursday night games that have been on TV.
Got to be one of the
Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving night, because I think the Steelers and the Colts are pretty evenly matched. Record-wise, they are. And I think they've had similar fates throughout the course of this season. And the one thing I will say is you got to give Indy a little bit because of the game being at their place.
Right.
However, I think the Steelers will be up for the challenge. and they will end up walking away with a win on that. About 24-21, I think, is going to be the final.
What are you thinking about that game, Jimmy? What do you think will happen with, of course, Steelers taking on the Colts on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night?
National spotlight,
Yes,
Thanksgiving night, big night for football. Dave's right. Pittsburgh has to walk into Indy and prove that they can win, which they did before in the playoffs whenever the year they were going to the Super Bowl against Seattle. I'll say final score, Pittsburgh 24, the Indianapolis Colts 17.
Okay, 24-17. You're talking about the Steelers should win that game, and we hope that's the
Steelers
case.
should win.
All right. Hey, Monday Night Sports Talk. It is Greg Banks from the studio, Dave Shannon in Altoona, and Jimmy Ty in the Philadelphia area. Chad States was with us in the Huntington region. For some reason, we lost him. Hopefully, we can reestablish ties. If you get a chance, Chad, call me back up, and, of course, we'll try to add you to the group call. Let me ask you guys this. As we look at this yesterday, Cowboys, of course, again, they continue to do well with Dak Prescott. New England, obviously with Brady, they're doing okay. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, out of those three, Jimmy, who do you see as the sort of the group or the team that basically gets into the Super Bowl? I mean, without much more said, out of those three teams.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, the Godfather, Moses, at work today.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking a little bit about football, and he's a huge football fan, huge Cowboys fan.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I'm like, I said, that team surprises me, that the Dallas Cowboys, they have Zeke Elliott, they have Prescott, it reminds, and I told him, it reminds me of the year that the Patriots went to the Super Bowl when Bledsoe got injured and Brady came in.
Uh-huh.
That's what Dallas reminds me of. With this rookie quarterback, this guy that's this unknown, basically, from out of Mississippi State. So to answer your question, I'm going to say it would be the Dallas Cowboys as the NFC representative and the New England Patriots as the AFC representative.
Okay, because I got to believe the guy is well known at this point. But you know what?
He's well known, yeah. But back whenever preseason started, he was like a fourth round or third round pick.
Right.
Everybody's like, okay, he's just going to be Romo's backup for like 2-3 years, just like what Rodgers did with Favre in Green Bay.
And that's what Brady did with
Bledsoe. Get them into the system little by little. Romo's our quarterback.
Yeah.
All 9 yards, second preseason game, or Romo injured his back, loses his position. Just like what Bledsoe did against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brady came in, and look what happened. 199 wins for Tom Brady.
Well, how do you think that plays out, Dave, as we head into the playoffs here? I know it's a few weeks yet, but, I mean, now we've got enough games under our belt to really kind of get a critical look at what teams will be in the hunt. And I don't know, my feeling is after Seattle defeated the Eagles yesterday 26-15, Patriots over 49ers 30-17, and Cowboys defeating the Ratbirds, the Ravens, 27-17. Those your top three, or what do you think?
I kind of like what Jimmy's saying, but I'll tell you what, I really I got to keep my eye on the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
Because out of the NFC, I mean, if that team has really been surprising me over recent weeks. They got off to a slow start, but now they're kicking in. And it's always good when you have a team that kicks in as the season is going along, especially when it comes to the postseason, because you get that momentum headed toward the postseason.
Yeah.
And who knows what may happen. I mean, you look back at the Penguins a year ago. Their momentum started toward the end of the season, and they ended up with the cup.
Well, Russell Wilson is I think he's the really factor for the Seattle Seahawks. And Jimmy Graham also, two of the factors, of course, in that team. Of course, you got Brady and Gronk and the rest of that whole crew from New England that basically shows up for every game. And as we mentioned before, Dak and, of course, Dez and, of course, Ezekiel of the Cowboys. So I guess right now, between those three teams, it's up for grabs. And, of course, I see the Patriots in as far as that's concerned. I think the showdown.
Patriots from the AFC.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah, but, Jimmy, who do you pick between the Cowboys and Seattle? Because both of those teams are hot right now. I mean, which one of those two get in there?
I wouldn't say Seattle. The pick I would go with is Atlanta right now.
Okay. All right. Well,
Atlanta Falcons. Look, just look at that offense. And their defense is pretty good out there. Seattle will play Atlanta,
Right.
like in like the first round or second round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
Because we all know that Dallas is going to get a bye.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So it'll be Seattle versus Atlanta, and it'll be Richard Sherman versus Julio Jones, right?
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, as a hot quarterback. So, but I'm going to say Atlanta is my pick over Seattle right now.
Okay, well,
Wow.
we'll see how that plays out. Let me ask you guys this again as we head towards another Monday night football game. This one moving to Mexico City. And Dave, it's almost like the Thursday night games anymore. I'm like, my God, I don't think I can watch this. But tonight, Houston taking on the Raiders in Mexico City. How do you see that one working out? And then I'll get Jimmy's prediction.
I think that should actually turn out to be a half-decent game.
Really?
Texans have been respectable this season, and Oakland, Jack Del Rio is just, I don't know, he's performed a miracle out there with Oakland. They really believe in him. He believes in them, and that's a team that's on the rise right now.
Yeah.
So in theory, this should be a good game. Plus, it'll be good to see the Texans and see how they're doing. Because they have been improving over the course of time. And, we'll see what happens there. I think, though, I suspect, even though that game's being played in Mexico City, I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Yeah, who are you picking tonight, by the way, Jimmy, between Houston and the Raiders in that game?
Derek Carr and the Raiders.
And the Raiders, okay. That's a young team. I tell you what, they are a team to look out for, I think, in the league. They're not going to make a lot of noise this year, but they're making some noise.
A few years ago, everybody laughed at the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders, they stink. They haven't been good since the John Gruden years and this and that.
Right.
They get Khalil Mack in the draft, right? Then they pick up, Carr as their quarterback.
Right.
They have Amari Cooper, last year's first-round pick. I mean, not last year, the year before's first-round pick.
Uh-huh.
You add him with Michael Crabtree, who was like underrated at times, but he found Michael Crabtree found a home in Oakland. Murray, the running back, nobody knew who he was until he busted out late last season.
Yeah.
And then you bring in a defensive-minded Jack Del Rio on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Raiders, they're an up-and-coming team. Look up and everybody in the NFL is like, oh, the Denver Broncos is the best team in the West, AFC West. No way,
Not
man.
so much. Not so much. I'll tell you what.
Just because Denver won the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean jack this year. It means that right now Oakland is the leader right now in the AFC West, and they can take that division by storm. And the whole nation doesn't get to watch Oakland too much. Watch this game tonight, and you'll see how good the Oakland Raiders are.
Well,
I still think Del Rio has a lot to do with them, really getting consistent, positive results that are going on there at Oakland. And Oakland's definitely a team to be reckoned with, I think.
Okay.
Bill O'Brien, it'll be good to see O'Brien again.
Again, yeah.
And you have to look at who is coaching. Who was part of that coaching staff last year in Denver?
That was a guy.
Jack Del Rio.
Del Rio was, yeah, exactly.
The last time the Jacksonville Jaguars were any type of a good football team, who was the head coach?
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio.
They haunted the Steelers when Del Rio was the head coach there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Monday Night Sports Talk here on the airnetwork.net. We do it every Monday night, by the way. You can always hit us up on Skype, Greg Banks 3. Hey, Chad States is out there somewhere, I hope. And if you're listening, Chad, we'll make sure you call in. We'll see if we can add you to our conversation here on Monday Night Sports Talk. Somehow or other, we lost Chad. Here he goes. Let me see if we can add him to this group call, because it says here, answering this call will put your current call on hold. What do you think my chances are, Dave?
Go ahead, give it a shot. You can play commercials
if I have to. Okay, I lost those guys, Chad. Hey, Chad, welcome back. I just lost Dave and Jimmy, but that's all right because we were. Is Dave still there? Okay, we'll try to add them back to the call. For some reason, we're trying to add you to our call, Chad, and we lost you. But we were just talking about that Houston Raiders game tonight in Mexico, getting their prediction. Any prediction on that game for you?
No, I don't even care. How's that? No,
we're not even watching that game.
Oakland's playing good football. I'm going to take the Raiders 24-10.
Okay. Okay, 24-10 on that game. Let's see if I can add Dave here to this call, and then we'll see if we can get Jimmy back on. Dave, are you back on with us? Monday Night Sports Talk. Chad, are you still with me?
Yep.
Okay, I can see we're trying to pull up Dave right now. There's Dave. Okay, Dave's back on. Let me see if I can add Jimmy real quick, because it happens where we have to add these guys to our group call. Monday Night Sports Talk here on the airnetwork.net. We got Jimmy, Chad, and Dave Shannon. Guys, let me ask you this real quick, and then we'll move on to college football. First with Dave. We're going to play in Mexico City tonight. There's some talk that they're going to head into maybe Las Vegas, San Diego. As the NFL looks to expand this league, what is the sense of moving this? Like, I guess it would be kind of natural if you got a field in Mexico, at least for those Texans that might want to head down there to watch a game. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it works. I'm sorry. And to be honest with you, I think the NFL has to start worrying about the same thing that Major League Baseball never worried about.
Okay.
And there's a point where expansion becomes detrimental to your league.
Yeah.
And I don't know that not on the same level that baseball is.
Okay.
There are a limited number of people that can play baseball at that level. By the same token, there are a limited number of people that can play football at the level that you need to play in the NFL. And I don't know that expansion just doesn't water things down even worse than what it is. And if they thought they were having trouble with ratings this year, adding another team is not going to help. And I don't know that Mexico City is going to necessarily be a good choice for a place to expand to anyway.
Well, let me ask Chad and then Jimmy. Jimmy, you're on the line with us again, right? You're still there?
Yeah, first.
All right. Hey,
yeah, first.
Chad, first, let me ask you. We're sending these games over to London. I mean, there's a reason for that. Obviously, they want to be internationally known. Football here is different than it is in Europe. Obviously, do you agree with Dave? Oversaturation. It's like pay attention to your core business, then move on, perhaps. Because
there's no doubt about it. Dave's spot on with that. The NFL is losing. They're losing viewership this year at an alarming rate.
Right.
And that's because the league has become boring. There's no. I mean, you can't have any fun. All right. Goodell has made the league it's just boring to watch. And I've never said that. I'm an NFL guy. I love the National Football League and always have. And I have found this year to be the most boring football I have ever seen on television.
I'll agree with you there.
Normally I want to watch the Monday night game. I could really care less about it. And it's just because the product that they're putting on the field and the way they're going about doing their business is just making people lose interest. And they've got to concentrate and look about how do we change to make our league fun again, to make it entertainment, to make it something that somebody really wants to watch. Because, again, they're losing viewership at an alarming rate, and they better pay attention.
Yeah, it really isn't compelling to watch, Jimmy, as we watch some of these games and, like, just the celebrations where these guys get flagged. You know, it's like, whatever happened to the days of just plain old fun? Now you want to go international, and it's not like you're going to pull any players from Mexico. I mean, obviously, it's just like Canada having a baseball team. Let's face it, 90, if not 95% of those players are Americans, maybe from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and those other countries. So it is oversaturation in your mind too, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah, like, what happened to, like, the days of Icky Woods and the Icky Shuffle?
Yep. Well, he's now doing Geico commercials or,
you know what I mean? But they
never flagged
Icky Woods doing the Icky Shuffle.
Yeah. Hey, how many of you guys ever saw that commercial that ran last year with Icky Woods and you got it, but maybe, well, those millennials didn't have any idea, or maybe even that generation that came after us. Do you think they knew who Icky Woods was, Chad?
No, they had no clue, but I was laughing my butt off when he planned a lunch meet.
I was too.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But my point is this: you flag like players like Antonio Brown for what? Twerking? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's twerking, Jimmy.
Or you flag Des Bryant for putting the X up or whatever it is.
I know.
And now you have these games that are in London and Mexico or even Japan or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
If the NFL wants their viewership, you know,
God. Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
Well, whatever happened to the
Don't put
days?
the games overseas.
Yeah.
It messes up players' time. It messes up practices. It messes up TV ratings.
Oh, my God.
You know, them games in London start at, 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time here?
Yeah. Here's a good example, Jimmy, real quick, and then we'll take a break and come back. Real quick, and you guys can tell me yes or no. Here it is. Steelers played yesterday. They didn't practice today. They're going to go back at it maybe haphazardly, do something, go through some moves on Tuesday, Wednesday, and go back and play on Thursday. Now, it might be a good game, okay, for the viewers at home, but they're not playing at full strength. Come on, you can't tell me that these guys aren't still taking some kind of pain medication after Sunday's game, Chad, or maybe smoking a little doobies just to get themselves back to normal. No, seriously. I mean, because that's what's happening to the league, in my mind.
It's that oversaturation where they're giving us too much NFL.
Yeah.
And not backing off on it. Thursday, all right, Thursday has traditionally been Detroit and Dallas for years on Thanksgiving.
For years.
We don't need the third game. Yeah, we don't need the third game.
I know.
It doesn't need to happen. And all these other Thursday night games, they don't need to exist either. The NFL needs to play to its market.
But
Sundays,
it's money. It's money. It's all about the money.
It's in Monday nights. That's it.
Oh, my God. Anyhow, Dave, I'll give you the last word on that. We'll wrap that part up and get back with college football next. Dave Shannon, what do you have to say to wrap that up?
Well, we're all on the same page, I think, when it comes to the NFL and what's been going on. And it reminds me of I think it was on one of the NFL Films things, and that's a highlight from an NFL. Well, there's two things I remember. Hank Stram running out to argue with an official. Now, nobody knows who Hank Stram is.
No, they have no idea now.
But anyway, Hank Stram runs out to the official, and he goes, you know what NFL stands for? Not for long if you keep making calls like that.
Isn't that the truth?
No, Jerry Glanville.
Yeah. Well, no, but it was Hank Stram that actually said that. But listen here.
Yeah.
I think, we've stolen enough stuff from the XFL. Remember that league? And also, what was the league that Donald Trump was involved in whenever Steve Young
and those guys? That was the XFL, too.
Was that the XFL?
He was XFL, and he did some USFL, too.
And USFL. Yeah. We learned so much from those two leagues about how to have fun, and the NFL didn't embrace it. They just put those other leagues out of business, basically. That's what they did. It's a monopoly. Yep. It's the no fun league. That's what NFL stands for. So, okay, enough said. Monday Night Sports Talk. Greg Banks in the studio. Dave Shannon, Altoona, Chad States, Huntington, and Jimmy Ty hanging out down around Berks County. Hey, listen, we've got some stuff to talk about. College football, there are some predictions and projections of some bowl games, and it looks like Penn State might get one of them. We'll talk about that and more coming up next.
Grab the Big Kahuna, the 24 square cut pizza with your choice of one topping for only $19.99. Now at All American Pizza and Subs at 612 Washington Street, downtown Huntington. All American Pizza and Subs has delivery, and they're the home of great pizza, subs, salad, wings, and more for lunch, dinner, or a late night snack. Call All American Pizza and Subs right now at 643-0222. Closed Mondays. All American Pizza and Subs. Like us on Facebook.
DC Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntington County. For over 3 generations, DC Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. DC Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
The Huntington Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community. Becoming a member of the Huntington Moose enables you to join friends who have served the community for over 100 years. It's the annual canned food drive on Saturday, December 17th, with all canned goods going to the local food bank. Bring a can of food or non-perishable item to the Clifton 5 Theaters for free admission to a movie on Saturday, December 17th at 10 a.m. The Huntington Moose Family Center 223, serving the community with the best value in town. Follow us on Facebook.
Pennsylvania Highlands Community College provides you the option to earn an associate degree, diploma, or certificate at an affordable cost. The Penn Highlands Huntington Center, located on Margie Drive in Huntington, offers degree programs in business management, criminal justice, liberal arts and sciences, and psychology. Are you ready to take the next step on your career path? Contact Penn Highlands Huntington at 814-643-6200 or visit Penn Highlands Community College online at pennhighlands.edu.
It's another edition of Monday Night Sports Talk on the airnetwork.net. Hey, John Harris, the sports columnist with ESPN and SI, will be joining us for a podcast. And his first guest, by the way, last week was Andy Benoit of SI. And also, we've got winter sports coming up. We'll tell you more about that. Check out our front page at theairnetwork.net. Meanwhile, Greg Banks in the studio, Dave Shannon, Altoona, Chad States, Huntington, and Jimmy Ty joining us from Berks County. Guys, let's get to Penn State football. Over the weekend, big winner over Rutgers, 39-0. A touchdown score from Barkley, Allen, Stevens. McSorley, by the way, and Barkley, of course, hooking up. A little passing going on. I mean, is this what you expected, Chad, to see out of the Nittany Lions this time of the year? And is James Franklin, getting more confidence now from the fans, at least?
Oh yeah, it was a sluggish first half. They, they're piecing together another offensive line. They're starting 3 freshmen and a sophomore right now. So it was tough sledding in the first half. But they did what they had to do to a very pathetic Rutgers team. Next week next week's going to be a challenge. Yeah. Michigan State is coming, off a game where they almost beat Ohio State. Lost by 1 point, attempted 2-point conversion, smart move for them to make. Yeah. And next week's no slouch for the Nittany Lions. But James Franklin should be commended to where he has this football team at, because if anybody saw this coming, they're a liar. Yeah, that's true. Dave, at the beginning of the year on Sports Talk here Monday night, I don't know, you didn't say it, but I probably felt like, I don't know how much longer this Franklin guy is going to be there. Has he finally found the niche? I mean, has he finally been welcomed by the Nittany Lion fans, and like he's going to be here at least a little, maybe 2 or 3 more years, huh?
Oh, I think he's at a point where he's going to be able to call his own shot as far as how long he stays. Yeah. It's going to be a question at some point as to whether he wants to go to the NFL. Because I got to be honest with you, I mean, he's a Pennsylvania guy. He has the head coaching job at Penn State. Right. And it just doesn't get any better than that for someone like that. And I remember Chad talking back there in the early part of this season about, he's finally got all the guys that he recruited. Right. They finally got all of their scholarships back. Everything is back to the way it should be. And they added an offensive coordinator that's obviously able to gauge the talent that's there and make something happen. And all of that being said, I think Coach Franklin's there for a long time, as long as he wants to be, as long as he continues to be able to go out there and get the kind of talent that you need to be competitive. And, of course, the whole turning point, regardless of what we want to say about the team, gelling and coming of age and whatever throughout the course of this season, it still goes back to they beat Ohio State. Oh, yeah. And now everything is different. And everything's everything is mucked up because of that game. And as I say that, because we'll talk a little bit about some of these rankings coming out actually today even, Jimmy. But let me ask you, Franklin had at one time played quarterback. I think he was down in the East Stroudsburg area. He's coming into his own now. Your thoughts on Penn State finally? I mean, I see that offensive line now in order for Barkley to get open, do his running. He's a dual threat. And then McSorley is a kid that actually looks like he could be going places in his career past maybe even past college football. What do you think?
Yeah, frankly, he played quarterback back, I believe it was like in the early 90s, for the Warriors, East Stroudsburg University Warriors, under a legendary coach up there.
And we got to remember the guy was a coach of Vanderbilt too. So I'm trying to say that he has some experience under his belt.
So basically, like Penn State, they're on the roll, but if you look at some of their wins that they had, first off, they played a lousy game against. Well, I shouldn't say game. They played a good game against Rutgers, but Rutgers is one of the worst teams in
college football.
In college football.
Yeah, but one of you guys mentioned. Yeah, one of you guys mentioned at the
Purdue's
beginning.
not that good, anyways. You know, but if you look at their key wins, you know, Ohio State is a good win for Penn State. You know, they're 8th right now in the ranking. But I don't see, honestly, they have to murder Michigan State for them even to get looked at to get into the college football playoff. You know, because you have Clemson, Alabama, Michigan.
Well, let's talk
Washington. So, but Penn State will get a New Year's Day bowl game or a January 2nd bowl game.
Chad, you were going to jump in there. Now, let me ask you this real quick. And prediction-wise, the polls just came out, top 25. Now, tomorrow we'll wait and find out how that college ranking comes out. But ESPN has Penn State at number 8 this week. Where it's really getting convoluted is up around 3 to 5. Maybe Wisconsin's in there, Washington's in there one week. I mean, we know Penn State's not going to be in that Final Four. Is that right?
No, that's wrong. You don't know that they're not going to be in that Final Four.
Tell me how that happens. How's that happen?
Here's the deal. You don't have to murder Michigan State. All you have to do is have Ohio State win.
Okay.
And Penn State win. Penn State's going to play in the Big Ten title game.
Okay.
If Penn State beats a highly regarded Wisconsin team in that Big Ten title game, they'll be in the top 4.
Okay.
They are going to take the Big Ten champion. Now, if Michigan wins, all bets are off.
Yeah.
But because they're going to go to the conference championship anyway. But Penn State has a legitimate shot by just winning the games that are going to be out in front of them and getting into that college football playoff. And they don't have to blow out anybody. All they got to do is win 2 football games.
Hey, for the benefit of our listeners, when is that Michigan?
Get there.
Yeah, what day is that Michigan State game coming up? That'll be this
Saturday.
Okay.
It's Saturday at 3:30.
And is that
Ohio State and Michigan play at noon?
Yeah.
And then Penn State will know what they need to do or not do, but really what they need to do.
Well, they're going to get out there and play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt they want to finish with 10 wins.
Is that at Michigan State, by the way, or is that at home? Michigan State.
That's at home. That's at Penn State.
Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, let me ask you
this. They have
a
shot, guys.
Okay, they do have a shot. And as you know, as we follow this whole thing, the cool thing is after all the sanctions, Dave, and after everything they've been through, to get to the Big Ten conference game, that would be sort of like the cream on top of the cake. Now, having said
especially when you're in a division where you have Ohio State and Michigan as part of that same division, that says a lot.
And Michigan State. Michigan State was in that Final Four last year, guys. So don't forget
that's true.
Hey, let me ask you guys this. They seem to get started slow, Dave, every week. You know, as we've said, maybe the first half a little, you know, I don't know if they're feeling people out or what that is, and then they come on gangbusters in the second half. You know, playing Rutgers is nothing to write home about, so maybe that was a warm-up for them. But let me ask you, you know, as you look down this road with them, they're going to a half-decent bowl, regardless, this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last week you and I talked about it. Cotton Bowl was where they were predicted to go.
Okay.
So, you know, they would end up in that game.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, like Chad said, I mean, mathematically and with the system set up the way it is, there is every real possibility that if they would win the Big Ten championship, that they would have to be in consideration of the national playoff. And I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
Here's what I would do, though. If they really want to beat Michigan State, I'd be contacting everybody I can and get a hold of that Northwestern game film because Northwestern handed Michigan State their butt.
That's true, too. And I'm sure they'll have access to that, you know, in this day and age of technology.
No, that's not a problem. Believe me, they're studying that hard right now.
Yeah, Monday Night Sports Talk here on the airnetwork.net. We do this every Monday night live at 7 o'clock with repeats throughout the week. We've got Dave Shannon in Altoona, Chad States Huntington, Jimmy Ty in the Philadelphia area. Jimmy, I'll get with you on Pitt in a second, but let me ask you this, Chad, real quick. Big Ten, John O'Korn, formerly of Houston and of Huntington, got at the quarterback position on Saturday. I know the weather was a factor, and I know he probably had the jitters. I mean, he had, you know, national audience. But you know what? They still kind of look like they lacked something. I'm not sure if they're on the same page with O'Korn yet. What's your feeling on that?
Well, they lacked something against Iowa too. Yeah. So, and that was with Wilton Speight, their starting quarterback. So if you back it up a week, their offense was terrible against Iowa. It continued to be not very good against Indiana as well. Now that's an Indiana team that gave Penn State some fits there for a while.
That's true.
But Penn State still put up 42 points. But regardless, there's something missing there with that Michigan offense. Now they were able to run the ball very well.
Yeah.
Passing, they weren't able to do it. Whether that's John, whether that's him orienting himself,
to
or
the
whether
offense.
there's just something amiss in the total passing game for Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure there based on what they did against Iowa the week before. I can't really put all the blame to John on this one.
No, you can't really, but he did look tentative, and I understand there's a reason for that. He came out of that Houston system, which was all kind of looted and confusing because they had so many changes. Then to get with Harbaugh, and of course to be the backup quarterback, and of course he probably got some snaps. But the reality is, until he really got his engines flowing, you really didn't get a good sense of what the potential is of John O'Korn. And I guess he'll be in that position for a while longer. So we wish him the best of luck as Michigan moves on. And, of course, we hope that they get knocked off by somebody so Penn State can also have an easy ride in there when it's all said and done. Jimmy, let me get to you. Pitt plays, a team that is not even known for football. They're known for basketball. And so the Pitt team shows up on Saturday. They just start blasting. They're scoring like 14 points early in the quarter. Each quarter they get 14. If it's not Connor, it's Peterman. If it's not Peterman, it's somebody else. Now they defeat Duke 56-14. Tell us real quick what your thoughts are on Pitt. Where can they end up at the end of the season?
Wow. First off, it was a great win by Pitt beating Duke this year. Last year, because Duke beat us last year. I remember that they beat us last year because Duke's football is up and coming. It's not like their basketball.
No.
But Duke's football is up and coming. But James Conner, he's still a tear there. Quadri Henderson.
Yep.
He's doing his thing. But James Conner, he's getting the Disney Award this year, which is really cool.
And they seem to they spread the ball around, too. I mean, he's not just the only guy touching the ball.
James Conner, the funny thing is like you see these college football teams that just focus on one player only.
Exactly.
Pitt doesn't have that. The thing that's wrong with Pitt is not their front of their defense. It's the back end of their defense.
Oh, does that sound familiar? Like in Pittsburgh, maybe the Steelers?
Just like the Steelers. It's the back end of the defensive backs of the University of Pittsburgh. That's the issue. Their offense can score 50, 60 points at a clip.
Okay.
Just look what they did against Duke.
Yeah.
Just look what they did against in week 2 against Penn State.
Right.
And that's a Penn State team right now that is ranked 8th. The only reason Pitt won that game, and I'm happy that my alma mater won against Penn State, is that the defensive backs were lucky that they caught that interception in the end zone.
Yeah.
Or Penn State would have won that game. But still, the thing for Pitt is right now they are bowl eligible.
Yeah.
They're not going to go to the ACC championship game. That's going to be either Clemson and probably North Carolina.
What do you think? Maybe the Sun Bowl. I heard predictions.
They'll go to the Sun Bowl or maybe the Pinstripe Bowl.
Okay.
It's a good bowl to go to,
right.
But still, as a Pitt fan, you would like to see them go to one of the New Year's Day bowl, not a bowl that is like on like December 28th or 29th.
Hey, Jimmy, I got to admit,
James Conner's the real deal. But the sad thing is if I was just looking up at a couple of days ago, I was looking at the Heisman, Heisman look.
Yeah.
Not one, Penn State's a good story.
Yeah.
No, according to the Heisman.
Well, Louisville got beat on Thursday, but go ahead. So that kid's probably going to be looking to shine again.
According to the Heisman, Barkley for Penn State.
Yeah.
I know we talked about a couple weeks ago. He's not even mentioned.
No.
Conner is not even mentioned.
Right.
You have players from like Washington and like Oklahoma State and
Louisville.
San Diego State. Who the heck wants to watch? They have one player in San Diego State.
Right. Okay. All right.
And they're not even ranked in the top 25.
Okay.
Talk about it's just crazy. And that's the thing about the Heisman Trophy race.
Right.
It's all favoritism.
Monday Night Sports Talk on the AirNetwork.net is Greg Banks in the studio. Dave Shannon live from Altoona. Chad States, by the way, Huntington, Jimmy Ty, Berks County. Let me ask you guys this real quick. If the polls come out tonight, which they don't, they come out tomorrow, who do you have in the top 4? Do you agree? Is it Alabama? Do we have Michigan? Do we have Clemson? And we mentioned Penn State, probably about 8. We'll start with Dave, and then Chad, and then Jimmy. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm really perturbed. I looked at the AP poll here just a little bit ago, and okay, why is Ohio State ranked number 2?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it.
Well, maybe Chad can answer that.
What's
Chad,
the
why
rubber
are they still
stamp
there?
method with these guys who just got a frickin' 1-point win over Michigan State, who got their butts handed to them by Northwestern? How in the hell is Ohio State number 2?
I question
but they
that too.
are.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, you're right.
But who do you put there?
Who do I put in number 2?
What about
Wisconsin? I'll tell you what,
Wisconsin?
I would rather throw Michigan there than Ohio State at this
Who lost
point.
to an unranked Iowa team.
But Iowa, I'll tell you what kind of game did Iowa give Penn State? What kind of game did they give Penn State?
Who,
Iowa's
Iowa?
been
Penn
a competitive team
but Penn
in the
State
second half.
Penn State blew out Iowa at home, so that game was out of control. Ohio State's loss is to the number 8 team in the country. That's it.
Now they are the number 8 team in the country. Back then, whenever Ohio State,
they were ranked 24th.
Well, these rankings come out every week,
But
though,
regardless,
Jimmy.
now they're ranked number 8. So that's why they're getting this, is because their one loss is better than everybody else's.
Yeah, I kind of question that too,
That's
Chad.
where it's at, guys.
Yeah, and here again, Alabama's probably for the most part, going to stick where they are at number 1, and then in many polls,
that's a given. They don't even have to play.
No, they don't.
I don't know why they even played.
Who the hell
schedule.
did they play over the weekend? Chattanooga. Where is that? I know it's in Tennessee, but I mean, what league is that in? I mean, what conference?
Well, the SEC plays a non-conference game late in the season every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Why they do it, I don't know, but all the SEC teams do that. And I can't figure out why they end up.
It's sort of like us
there,
playing Akron. Yeah, at the beginning of the season, we do all of our games at the beginning of the season. Right. Pitt playing Kent State or somebody. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Jimmy, I know that you're biting at the bit to give us your top 4 this week. Who do you think comes out this week other than Alabama? Who are the other 3?
Well, of course, you said Alabama. They're going to be top.
Okay.
Whoever wins the Michigan-Ohio State game, they're going to be number 2. Well, let's say I'm going to pick Michigan.
Okay.
Number 3, Washington Huskies out of the Pac-10.
Okay. You say Washington Huskies. Okay.
Washington Huskies. Right. And a surprise to everybody, a team that I feel that I could beat.
Yeah.
A team that I watched this weekend, the Wisconsin Badgers.
Okay, that's the team.
Right now they're 8-2.
Yeah.
They're number 7 in the country.
Right.
You don't put Louisville in there because they just lost to Houston. Clemson, you know what I mean? There was a close. They barely beat.
Hey, Chad.
Pitt beat them, let's say.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Wisconsin in right now. If they would play the game tonight, Penn State full strength.
Okay.
Wisconsin full strength.
Right.
And I'll say this: in Beaver Valley, in Happy Valley.
Okay.
Wisconsin will walk out of Penn State with the W. Wisconsin's that good.
We're going to see how that works out.
About Wisconsin.
Hey, Chad, by the way.
Wisconsin's number 5, by the way, in the AP poll.
Yeah, I saw that too, Dave. Yeah, so there they are. Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and Wisconsin then. Okay.
And the thing I like to say about this AP stuff, right?
Right.
Penn State, we know, beat Ohio State. That's the signature win for the Penn State Nittany Lions, right?
You're right.
The only reason Penn State beat Ohio State was on special teams.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Jimmy. They beat them.
But I'm saying is there's other teams. You have Oklahoma destroyed the number 13 team in the nation and on their home field. Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Beat West Virginia.
Yeah.
And also lost to SMU in Houston. So you just go full circle here, guys.
You do.
Here's the thing. If you're going to talk about your top 4 this week, it's different than what you're talking about next week. So this week it's going to be Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson.
Yeah, next week with that Michigan State.
That's your top 4 this week.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna dispute that. Next week this all changes, guys.
Oh, no doubt.
Because Ohio State and Michigan Ohio State, Michigan, one of them's going to be knocked out.
Right, they will. And, that's going to be so cool because I love it when we get this log jam of these teams
That's what makes college football great, guys.
I do want to see Alabama
get
knocked off by somebody.
You saying you're making college football great again?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Me and Melania, baby.
All right, Jimmy, make your point real quick because I got to move on here. We're running out of time here on Monday Night Sports Talk. Go ahead, Jim.
Wisconsin 8-2, Penn State 8-2, Oklahoma 8-2, Colorado 8-2, Oklahoma State 8-2, so we're looking at Utah 8-2,
and we're looking at strength of schedule.
It's all log jammed right there.
Oh, it is. It is. By the way, Monday Night Sports Talk here on the AirNetwork.net. We get all heated and stuff, and guys want to be fighting. We don't really fight because we get along real well.
It's all for fun.
It is for fun. Let me ask you guys this as we move on to sports. Hot stove real quick before we jump into Penguins. Dave, and I know you love that stuff. The MLB honors came out last week. Esurance they sponsored this thing, the best of. Let me just hit you with these, and you guys can, as we talk about this real quick. The best major leaguer this year was Mike Trout, according to them. The best hitter was David Ortiz, Poppy. Best rookie was Corey Seager of the Dodgers. Best manager, Terry Francona of the Indians. And the best exec was Theo Epstein. Dave, you first. What are your best in the MLB this year? I mean, obviously, you got to include Bryant in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was kind of pleased to see the Dodgers manager. I just keep forgetting his dang name.
Dave Roberts.
Yeah, Dave Roberts. I was so pleased to see him get the National League Manager of the Year award.
Oh, no doubt.
I think that was a good award and a guy that did deserve it. And he took the Dodgers through some real roller coaster rides there over the course of the season. So I was glad to see that.
Yeah.
Francona, I mean, who knew about Cleveland until we got to the postseason?
Oh, no doubt.
Then everybody knew a lot about Cleveland after that. And that's I got to give Francona a tip of the cap there too. Best GM was given to, once again, Greg.
The best guy, Theo Epstein. I mean,
Theo.
doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey,
the
guy goes in and he has a 3 or 4 year plan.
He got a resume.
And it works out perfectly. And so, yeah, I mean, look what he did with the Red Sox.
He did the same thing for the Red Sox, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, I'm on board with just about everything that got picked there.
All right, Jimmy, real quick, or let me get with Chad here. Any best of that we forgot, maybe?
Chris Bryant.
Okay.
He led the Cubs. Chris Bryant led the Cubs.
Okay, and we know that.
Chris Bryant.
And he won everything according to the Major League anyhow.
Yeah, and the best pitcher right now.
Okay.
They got that right, and Max Scherzer of Washington.
Scherzer, okay. I was going to ask Chad that too. Chad, you pretty much go along with that as we give your list of the best. Is there somebody we forgot, Chad?
No, you're spot on. I mean, Esurance got it right. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball.
Okay.
And I'm going to go on record. It's not close.
He's
that much better
close
than everybody else.
Okay, much better than even. Do you see Bryant, though, maybe in the future, if he continues? I mean, let's face it, some guys fade away. Chad, you think he will be one of the top players of all time? I mean, all said and done?
He's got to sustain it for a number of years. But Mike Trout has been in the Major League Baseball how many years now, guys?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I think like 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
and how many times has he finished in the top 2? And I don't
Every
think
year.
it's 8. I think it's less than that. Every single year he's finished in the top 2 in MVP voting.
Yeah,
that's unheard of.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I felt bad for
and how much better he is than everybody else.
I felt bad for your boy.
He won a World Series ring, right?
Yeah, and I felt bad for your boy Bryce Harper last night. He was on the AMAs, the American Music Awards, with some chick named Tiana who tripped across the stage and had to embarrass Bryce.
No!
Yeah, it was one of those deals. Hey, real quick, Chad, Penn State wrestling, and then we'll head on to Penguins and wrap this thing up. Penn State wrestling, what did we got? What's happening? And I know they're undefeated. And
they just went on. They
just
went on a roll with this newly formed tournament called the Keystone Classic out in Philly. They annihilated the whole entire field. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Next up for them is Lehigh. That is on I think December 4th. That will be at the Bryce Jordan Center. It'll be another big sellout.
Yeah.
That'll be a good match because Penn State obviously has a lot of Pennsylvania kids.
Yeah.
So does Lehigh, but It's just a machine that does not stop working, guys.
And this is a national team this year. I mean, title team. They were ranked, I believe, second going in. Who was number 1 this year if they were number 2 this year? I get
Oklahoma State is number 1 right now.
Okay, right now. But that can all change before it's all said and done, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Real quick, Dave, on the Penguins. Let me ask you this. I know they got a home and home with the Rangers coming up. I hear that Kunitz is out on IR. They bring a kid up from down in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. What do you know about the Penguins and how they've been shooting that puck, man?
Well, obviously the game against the Capitals last week was horrible. They came back with a good game. They get a win against the New York Islanders, an overtime win there, then have an overtime loss at Buffalo. But right now, as we're speaking, and you may be listening to this at God knows what time, but what's going on tonight is Jake Gensel, the guy that came up from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, to replace Chris Kunitz, comes up. His first 2 shots in the NHL go into the frickin' goal.
That game's on right now.
It's 2-0 Penguins, and Gensel has both of the goals. So that plug and play that they've had working with Scranton Wilkes-Barre is still going on. God bless him. That's great to see.
Who needs Kunitz if he's up here? Let him play. No, just kidding.
Always good to have a little controversy when you got somebody coming up that good.
That should be a good home and home, man, with the Rangers and the Penguins, because that's always a good matchup, no matter when it's played. And I'm glad they're heading into the Thanksgiving holiday. Hey, guys, thank you for being on Monday Night Sports Talk. Dave Shannon, Chad States, Jimmy Ty. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. We'll see you back here next Monday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you very much for listening to Monday Night Sports Talk. Don't forget Winter Sports with wrestling and Bearcat Wrestling with Chad States coming up in December, along with high school girls and boys basketball and a whole lot more. It's all here, and it's all live on the home of the Huntington Bearcats. This is the AirNetwork.net.